What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about how there's a difference between success and achievements and skills in other areas in life. Now, what does this really mean? It means that a lot of people who see someone who's successful automatically assumes that he's a great role model, that he's very successful in many other areas or knowledgeable in many other areas, and they almost think that if you achieve success, and in most people's minds this means monetary success, even though there's many other forms of success that are just as important, if not more important. But they assume that monetary success means, oh, he's knowledgeable in many areas, he's wise, and it all converges to this sort of person who knows a lot about many different things in life. Now, this can be true, but oftentimes it isn't always the case. And there's many reasons. First off, monetary success doesn't necessarily come always from hard work and diligence and a lot of good qualities. Sometimes you just luck out completely. Maybe you inherited most, if not all of it, or you were just in the right place at the right time and a lot of it landed on you. More likely so, however, is that you maybe lucked out by getting your foot in the door at the right time and place, but you still had to work really hard to achieve that success. But at the same time, there was a bit of luck involved. And a lot of these things play together in different ways. Like you were born very good looking or above average, and like it or not, that helped you out in achieving a acting role or whatever that propelled you to either fame or some form of monetary success. But the point is that just because you're rich doesn't mean that that's the only form of success that's important. And a lot of people make this they fail with this concept, and they have this idea that it is, and they give a lot of successful people too much credit. Not always monetary success either. It's like other forms of success, like maybe social status or popularity in schools or whatever it is. They ascribe this sort of success to, oh, well, because he has this, that means that he has a lot of other very important traits that are needed to achieve this form of success, and it all converges, and everyone requires these sort of things to achieve this sort of success, which isn't really true. To give a more concrete example, people will say, oh, this guy is he's very successful, he's very rich, he has all these nice cars. I'm going to treat him very highly, and I'm going to ask for advice on life, advice on how to raise my kids, advice on entering the entertainment industry, even though he works in the motor vehicles industry. Again, I'm just pulling this example out of thin air. And you see the problems with this, just because he's a success in the motors industry doesn't mean he knows anything about the entertainment industry. And in fact, a lot of people will get pretentious because of their success, and some, not all, will step out of their circle of competency and start giving you advice that may be bad advice on a topic they don't know. And some people will realize that, you know what, I got my money this way, why are they asking me all these questions about all this stuff? And they themselves know, just because I got money doesn't mean I'm a nice person, and people go up to them asking them about how to raise their children, how to treat others, when in reality it's very possible that they could be bad parents or bad people, or they just might not have a lot of their life in order. You see it quite often, and I was very much surprised when I found out a lot more details about celebrities or successful people, and by success I mean rich people, and I find out that oh, they do drugs, or oh, they smoke, or um, their lifestyle isn't all that great, or they aren't the person you think they are. They're actually pretty rude quite often. And no, I'm not talking about those people who, they get caught by the paparazzi and they get caught in one moment of rudeness. Some people, you think they're one way, but it's completely different than how they actually are. Many people struggle with problems that most human beings struggle with, and they may not deal with it as well, even if they are um, high income individuals. And putting aside celebrities, there's a lot of very rich people, a lot, who are not famous at all, whether they are high paying surgeons or um, whatever occupation. Many of these people, like many other humans, act and behave worse or better than the average human. And there could be various millions of factors. Maybe the amount of income they make is because they have to put in a lot of work or hours per week, and slash, or maybe they spent many years of their life doing something they kind of hate to make that sort of money, and they don't like their job, but they're making a ton of money. It's the same sort of thing, and the net result is they're mean, or they're angry, or they're bitter, and they have this resentment towards themselves and other people, and then they just show that out on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, they're not as happy or content or satisfied as other people, average people, monks. Some monks, I kid you not, they're probably more happy or satisfied and successful in other avenues of life than many high paying, wealthy individuals. It's a variety of issues and problems. Not everything is fixed by money. For instance, and I can go on, but I'll just give you one example. And there's many different fields that can't be fixed by money. One is relationships with your family and friends. You can't really solve that if you're putting in tons of hours per day, or you have resentment in yourself, or you just end up being a crappy person or a crappy parent. Another example is relationships and so forth. What if you have all this money, but you keep attracting people who just only like you for your money? Now, some people, they don't care at all. They don't mind this. But for me personally and other people, in the long run, you'll realize that these women or these men, we now have wealthy female businesswomen as well, but you'll find that these women will leave as soon as the money leaves. And even if you know that you're secure in your finance so that you'll never go broke, that feeling deep down that these girls only like you for the money, and they find your personality and everything else about you not that great, even though you think you're a pretty cool person, that's gonna affect you, or at least it's gonna affect me. And no, piling more money is not gonna fix that. It's one of those gold digger dilemmas. And so you get the sort of thing, you get the sort of point, right? It's like you can't really find that contentment. And so you can go on, but I guess the whole point of this is not about gold diggers or money, but the whole idea that one aspect of success doesn't mean that he's successful or knowledgeable or wise or can give you advice on everything, nor does it say that this person's perfect. Almost everyone has their weaknesses, or they're still struggling with something, or they're not as perfect as you think they are. It's quite astounding. Everyone's human, everyone goes to the bathroom and poops and so forth, and it's really quite astounding how you sort of realize this. Like, it really brings people down to earth. Like, it's astounding how no matter how big someone can get, you realize at the end of the day that they're still human, they still act like humans, and it's really quite crazy. But again, at the other end of the spectrum, it's like these people are, they're like me, they're humans, but they're so detestable. They do all these horrible things. So it's like a different. It's a heavily weighted balance on one side of a beam, where one side, it's easy to see someone as far from human when they're detestable, but um, at the other end, at least for me now, it's like, okay, I can tell that these people are pretty darn human, and it brings them down to earth, even when they've achieved all these things. And so, again, just realize, when you are out there talking to successful people or so forth, they are human. They're just like you in certain ways. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them may have ended up stumbling across or converging on the same sort of traits or philosophies or mindsets or ideas or beliefs or behaviors or habits that have gotten them success. But that doesn't mean that everything they know or have done or their perspectives on everything is the same. But again, I do agree that there are a lot of converging mindsets and beliefs that a lot of successful people have that a lot of unsuccessful people do not have. And there is definitely a degree of convergence, but you can definitely take it too far. And that's another thing though. A lot, I would say most people don't realize the amount of similarities, but then once you get to that step, you don't want to take it too far. That's all I really want to say, and I hope it made sense.